Hello, I'm Federico Borsari, Leonardo Fellow at the Transatlantic Defense and Security Program here at SIPA, and today I will talk about Italian elections. Amidst the most serious security crisis since the end of the Second World War, on the 25th of September, Italians will cast their vote to elect a new government in snap parliamentary elections prompted by the late July crisis of the cabinet led by Prime Minister Mario Draghi. The so-called center-right coalition is currently leading in the polls and includes four parties, including Giorgia Meloni's Brothers of Italy, Matteo Salvini's Northern League, and Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia. With a projected 47% of total votes, this coalition is expected to win the elections and form a new government. On the other hand, 28% is the total share of votes projected for center-left parties, including the Democratic Party with 21%. Importantly, the vote will take place in a context of high abstentionism. These elections represent a litmus test for Italy, not only in terms of domestic reforms and countermeasures to a new phase of economic recession, but also with regard to the country's foreign policy. Indeed, as a founding member of NATO, Italy has staunchly supported Ukraine with military aid while also enforcing the EU economic and financial sanctions against Russia. Yet, this firm pro-Atlanticist position taken by Draghi's government has raised eyebrows at home. And some political forces, especially far-right and populist parties like the League and the Five Stars movement, have repeatedly voiced their skepticism about the provision of weapons to Kiev and the sanctions against Moscow. The reason for this criticism lies in the alleged fallout of the energy crisis on Italy's economy and the perceived need to push for a ceasefire. These issues have inflamed the electoral campaign and are also likely to affect relations among parties in the next government. All parties in the right-wing coalition seem to publicly agree on continuing the military support to Kiev and keeping the sanctions, but political figures like the League's leader Matteo Salvini may try to challenge this policy once in the governing majority. And this will create tensions with other partners in the executive and potentially complicate the new government's relations with the EU and the US at a critical moment. Overall, however, the main traditional political parties have reiterated that Rome will not change its long-time Atlanticist foreign policy and will remain a loyal ally and friend of the US and pursue a harsher approach to China. If elected, the right-wing coalition has promised a foreign policy centered around the principle of national interest, and on some issues like the management of irregular migrations or economic policies, there could be disagreements with the EU if a more muscular nationalist approach will be taken. In other key areas such as defense spending and EU security, continuity is to be expected. The coalition's goal is to reach the 2% GDP target by 2025 rather than 2028, boost EU's defense capabilities, and advance Italy's role in the Atlantic Alliance. Whichever the results of the vote, the new government will have a very complex and busy foreign policy agenda to deal with, and the crucial task of demonstrating Italy's commitment to Ukraine's freedom despite rising domestic inflation and economic turbulences.